Hello everybody, X here, welcome back to another World of Warcraft video, and today we're going to be continuing our mount collection series by looking at all the mounts obtainable from questing / exploration. So this can include special activities, mount quests, all that sort of jazz. So here we go. Start off this one, we're looking at a group of mounts obtained from special activities. These include world spawn mounts and just a huge range of things that you need to do to get them. So we're starting off with the elusive Quickhoof. To obtain this mount, you must be extremely lucky and come across the rare spawn elusive Quickhoof that wanders around Vuldun. You then need to feed it some seaside leafy greens mix, which you can purchase from almost every vendor on Battle for Azeroth, so it is a good idea to have a couple of these in your bags at all times. Also, it is a good idea to join the group finders for this one, as you will be able to let you know if there's been a sighting. Next up we have Fabius. This unbridled hippocampus was actually discovered using the WoW secret finding community on Discord. Firstly, you need to locate the extremely rare spawning NPC Fabius, and then you'll need to take a selfie picture with him. This is a little camera that you can get in World of Warcraft. And the mount will then appear in your bag. Again, there is group finder groups for this one, and this is the only mount of this type that is roadable without a harness. Next up we have the Crimson Tide Stallion. This one takes a very long time to obtain, and sit back for this one. This mount is sold infrequently by Muriel, a Murloc vendor at your Nazjatar faction hub, as part of a complex bartering system. Sit back. You must first complete the intro quest for Nazjatar and get to the point when you unlock world quests. Then you must find the wounded Murloc Mule in the north of a Dragon's Teeth Basin and accept its rescue quest, available on both factions, and bring it to your faction hub, New Home for Horde or Mezzanir for the Alliance. Upon completing this quest, 4 more vended Murlocs will appear around your hub. Grimroll, Hrungroll, Umgroll and Fluggroll. Murlm offers you 1 more quest to buy 4 items from the other Murlocs. After you complete this quest, Merle also becomes a vendor, and this item offers can be purchased using items bought from the other Murlocs, which in turn requires other items sold by the same Murlocs. Yeah, keep memory on this one. The items merely self-change daily, so you'll need to be patient and check every day. In the meantime, there are other things, of course, that you can do. You can obtain the Azura's Storm Surger Cape. These are created randomly from Betfair Cloak tokens, which are purchased from your gear vendor for 5% mana pearls. Depending on your luck, you can get a few of these, which will allow you to do these slightly more quicker. 2 of the 3 epic items required as currency for the Tide Stallion can be purchased from the other Murloc vendors around your hub, but only when you're wearing this Storm Surger Cape. Otherwise, the items will not be visible. The items have a 1-day cooldown, so if you don't purchase them, then until the day the mount is on sale. So once you buy them, you've got 1 day and then they disappear. The 5 item you need, is a Hungry Herald's Tentacle Taco. This is sold by Moloko, a Murloc who appears infrequently in Moloko's hideaway in northwest Nazjatar, and which is west of the A in Nazjatar Terrace and due south of the 2nd E and Queen of the Gate of the Queen. Sorry, that's complicated. You may need to cut this cave for some time before he appears. You may also need to kill some Naga, which guards to free him. Fortunately, his item doesn't have a finite duration, so once you've got it, that is it. If you don't want to work out the bartering game for yourself, this is also a look at what you have to do in order to actually get it, because there's quite a few rounds on this one. So the first round, you'll need to purchase 288 unidentified mass from Flog, 128 sweet sea vegetables from Hergol, 714 slimy Naga eyeballs from Murgriol, which will cost you a total of 1130 gold. Second round, you'll have to, using the items you've just brought, purchase 238 curious Murloc horns from Grillog, 32 just regular butter from Flugol, and 48 dirty Murloc socks from Hergol. Then you'll have to take the 48 dirty Murloc socks to the water source and wash them. Click on them until they are clean. Then the third round, you'll have to use these items that you have just bought again to purchase 16 sea giant foot dust from Glog, 28 ghost food from Flogloil, I hate these names, 14 healthy Murloc lunches from Hergloil, and 16 slimy pile of glute from Murgloil. Round 4, using the items you just brought, you'll purchase 2 pulsating bloodstones from Murgloil and 4 cultist pinky fingers from Hergloil, And then the final round, using the items you've just brought, plus the Hunger's Herald Tentacle Taco, you can purchase the Crim Stallion Tide Stallion from Muriel. Wow. Next up we have the X995 Mechanocat. This is a customizable mount. It's created through the Junkyard Tinkering feature in Mechagon. This is facilitated through Pascal K1N6, who will help you unlock while completing the Mechagon quests. You can upload the blueprints to Pascal K196 and he'll create this object for you. You buy the blueprints for this mount from Cork Stuttgart after you have unlocked him. There's also a huge variety of different colours that you can get from this, lootable from NPCs around Mechagon, and also in the dungeon as well, of course. And finally for this section we have the Springfur Alpaca. This alpaca is a reward from the quest Alpaca in it in the new Enzoth Assault phase of Uldum. To achieve this, you must complete the daily quest Alpaca is up for 7 days in a row by locating friendly alpacas at rambling locations in Uldum and feeding them Gersal greens. That is a reference to Final Fantasy. Gersal greens may be found around the major waterways of Uldum. Now we're moving on to looking at the mounts obtainable through mount specific quest chains, starting off with the Winter Spring Frost Saber. This is an alliance specific mount obtainable from Riven Frostwind in Frost Saber Rock in Winter Spring. This saber is a reward from one quest chain in which you raise the mount from a cub. Speaking to Raven Frostwind in Winter Spring to begin, the quest chain involves returning to Riven once a day for 20 days, training your cub through the daily quest that you are assigned. Prior to Classicas, the method to obtain this was quite different. You had to grind the reputation up for the trainers, which was one of the hardest ones in the game to obtain. Next up you have the Venomhide Ravasaur. This is obtainable from Morvek in the Ungoro Crater and is Horde exclusive. This is again from a similar quest chain to the previous one, where you do the quest chain raising this mount from a hatchling by speaking to Morvek every day for 20 days and completing the daily quests that you are assigned until this levels up to a full mount. Levels up. Trained Icehoof. This is one of the many mounts which are obtainable through the Garrison Mount training quests. Each mount does have a specific quest chain which has complete, killing various mobs around the starting areas of Draenor, which will then get them to join you as a full-on mount. These are the Trained Icehoof, Trained Meadow Stomper, Trained Rock Tusk, Trained River Swallow, Trained Silverpelt, and the Trained Snarler. Then we have the brilliant Direbeak. This is one of the Ranger Feathered and Beaked Raptor cousins. Mount is awarded from the quest Direbeak Reunion. This is the last quest in a very long quest chain offered by the Direbeak Hatchling Companion Pet. In order to obtain this pet, there is a very good blog post written by Quintessence of Wildcraft Pets, which goes over how to get all of these mounts. But of course, once you've completed this mount, there is a chance of you getting one of 4 mounts. These being the Brilliant Direbeak, Predator Bloodgazer, Snowfeather Hunter, and Nephiridian Sharp Talon. Next up we have Krufon. This is a Horde exclusive reward from the quest chain, but once obtained it can be used by any character of both factions. The quest chain begins by looting the egg Perdox Egg, which is a rare drop from Petrodox NPCs in Zandalar. The quest chain takes about a month to complete fully, during which you care for and raise the hatchling to an adult. Finishing up with the Down But Not Out quest, an additional quest added in patch 8.2, which allows him to fly. Prior to this he was only a ground-based mount. Next up we have Bruce. This is the Brawlers Guild quest chain. Unlike previous seasons, this mount is obtainable through a quest chain rather than the purely combat price before. Inspect the body of Quankenbush at the Brawlers Guild for the first clue to this murder mystery. Next up we have the Honeyback Harvester, the B mount. This one is an Alliance exclusive. This one is obtainable from a quest chain beginning with one of 2 bee companion pets, Bumbles, which is obtained from a week-long quest chain in Stormsong Valley. or the Seabreeze Bumblebee, which is purchasable for 250 pet charms from the Quartermaster if you're revered for Storm's Wake. Once you've got your pet, go to Barry Neal Middle Media in Stormsong Valley, who starts you on your unbelievable adventure. Enjoy that pun. Once you've unlocked the Honeyback Hive faction, most of your activities will be related to grinding the reputation through collecting fin jelly, killing Honey Smasher dailies, and engaging in Honeyback Harvester assault events, which periodically appear throughout the zone. Next up, we have the Scrap Forged Mecha Spider. You assemble the spider tank itself through a variously long quest chain that begins with the shop project and will end in your Drive It Away Today quest. Again, there is a achievement to go alongside this mount, giving you a total of 12 achievements that you have to do in order to attain this mount. Next up, we have the Shadow Barbed Drone. You can learn this mount by completing the quest chain, which is started by locating a clutch of void-touched eggs near the Akhakan Harbour in Uldum, and the entire quest chain will take you around 30 days of doing dailies once per day, which will level this one up until it grows into a full mount. And to finish off the section, you have the Child of Torquili. This one is a reward from the patch 8.2 quest Wonder Not Alone, which is the final step in the How to Train Your Dinosaur quest chain. The rest of this chain was released with the Battle for Azeroth expansion and can be started by talking to Call Master Bakor. Next up, we have the Special Exploration mounts. These are mounts which require an extra level of commitment, such as solving riddles and discovering secrets located all around the World of Warcraft. The first one coming up is the Hive Mind. This was first discovered on the 16th of December 2018, and the way you get this is very complicated. You basically have to do this in a group of 5 players, with each player obtaining a different colour monocle from the red crystal, blue crystal, green crystal and the yellow crystal, each obtainable through different places and different methods across the World of Warcraft. But in order to start to get to one, you must purchase the Talisman of True Treasure Tracking from Griftar in Shatrath. Once you've obtained all the different crystals that you need, you will go in your group of 5 to a location in Court of the Stars, which you will then go into a room solving yet another lot of puzzles. And then in the final room you will join together to obtain the Hive Mind. And also you get a group bonus with this one, so everybody who created the mount, if you ride the mount of somebody else, you will get a 10% speed boost, if that makes sense. Right, next up we have the Dormus, the Camel Hoarder. This is accessed through the mysterious camel figurines in Uldum, which appear sporadically around the zone. Most of the time these will turn to dust and do absolutely nothing, but if you are extremely lucky, it will teleport you to Dormus the Camel Hoarder. This is a NPC in a special phase and cannot be reached by any other way. The Grey Riding Camel may be looted from Dormus after you defeat him, but this is not a guaranteed drop. Next up we have the Void Talon of the Dark Star. This mount is obtained by entering a randomly spawning smoky portal. The portal has multiple known spawn locations, at least 16 that are currently known. There are almost guaranteed to be more, across all zones in World of Warcraft, with the possible exemption of Ashran. This portal leads to a mini instance called the Edge of Reality, containing a dead NPC, the last Void Talon, and a single lootable egg, which will give you this mount. If something fucks up when you enter into one of these clouds, you will receive the mount in the mail. Next up we have the Fathom Dweller. This one is obtained from Kasimov the Hungering in the Eye of Ashara in the open world. This is a jellyfish mount which is actually since the Classicism and recently served as a mount for the faceless NPCs. Now with a saddle, it's ours to obtain. You obtain this mount by first unlocking the world quest for Kasimov the Hungering, which involves clicking various orbs around the whole of the Broken Isles. There is a complete list of where these are, again on Wirehead, great resource. Killing the MP Kasimov the Hungering without unlocking the quest will not give you the mount. Next up we have the Long Forgotten Hippogriff. This beautiful hippogriff is obtained after you go around a small adventure all around Zuna. The Wowhead community yet again worked out the method of obtaining this, which involves locating 5 randomly spawning purple ephemeral crystals in Azuna and clicking on each of them all within an 8-hour period without dying. How they work these out, I have no idea. Next up, we have the Lucid Nightmare. This is a mount obtained at a similar way to the Riddler's Mindworm, which we'll get onto in a minute. This is a mount which is a reward of a massive game-spanning puzzle, which was first solved by the Secret Finding Discord channel on the 4th of September in 2017. It involves going around all over World of Warcraft, solving the different puzzles, finding hidden items. It is an insane quest chain and is really fun to do. I would strongly advise you go and doing it. Riddler's Mindworm is the other one which we previously just mentioned. This one again was first found using the Secret Finding Discord channel, which originally solved this on the 11th of April 2017. This is essentially the method of solving the world, clicking on various pages from books which are scattered all over Azeroth and the Firelands. Again, the solution for this is so many steps. So again, a complete guide to this is again on Wowhead. Okay, so now we have the Zone and Event quest chain mounts. These are mounts which are attainable from various quests throughout World of Warcraft, either for completing them or just getting a certain distance into them. So the first one being the Versace Seahorse. This one can only be ridden in the waters of Vashj'ir, which does limit it slightly, but it is the fastest water mount in the game. It is a quest reward from the Abyssal Ride, which you will obtain very early on in the Vashj'ir quest chain, so really doesn't take you long to get at all. Next up we have the Onyx Cloud Serpent. This is from a quest chain called Surprise Attack, which you will get when you reach Exalted with the Shadow Pan. Next up we have the Grand Griffin. This is an Alliance exclusive mount. This was the quest reward for completing the chapter of Operation Shieldford storyline, which will then of course give you the mount in Mists of Pandaria. Then we have the Grand Wyvern, which is basically the same but for the Horde, which is the quest award from Breath of the Darkest Shadow, which was the end of a chapter of the Dominant Offensive storyline again in Mists of Pandaria. Next up we have the Lothian Prowler. This Fox Mantis is rewarded for completing an involved question which begins once you receive the Torn Invitation. The train requires you to complete several class Order Hall missions and then the final hands-on quest, Vulpin the Elusive, in which you must disrupt the Fox Hunt. The Torn Invitation is obtained from several ways. The most common chance is a loot from the Nightfallen Horde cache, which is awarded for completing 4 world quests, when it is available of course. Also, there is a chance to receive these as just a mission from your class Order Hall, even though it is rare. And there's also a chance of getting it from chests looted during the Withered Army training scenario, even though that one is also very rare. Next up we have the Arcanist Mana Saber. This Mana Saber is a reward for completing the quest chain Fate of the Nightborn in Suramar, which will require the following to do. Complete the Nightborn storylines in Suramar up until the end of the Insurrection achievement, which requires you to complete 9 different steps. After completing the above, pick up the extra quest, the Nighthold Lord of the Shadow Council from Khadgar, and once you've defeated Gul'dan, you will then get the quest pickup Fate of the Nightborn from Khadgar, again in the same room as Gul'dan, which will give you this mount. Then we have the Deep Coral Snapdragon. This is an Alliance only, which will also give you the Horde exclusive, which we'll talk about in a minute. This mount is a reward from raising your Nashtal bodyguard Hunter Arcana to rank 20 and completing the quest Wild Tame. In case you don't know, in your little Alliance or Horde area there is some dailies which you can complete with some goblins, which will reward you eventually with this mount. You go out, do the quest, and they level up over time. And then the Horde equivalent is the Snapdragon Kelp Stalker, which is obtained from your bodyguard Neri Sharpfin when reached rank 20, and you have completed the quest Good Girl. World/repeatable quest mounts. So these are mounts which are obtainable from a huge variety of quests, which are either dailies or, in the case of most of these, are Paragon rewards. So let's get into them. The first one is the White Polar Bear. This one is obtained from quite a few different places. This item bears a very small chance mainly to be found in the Hydnir spoils, that is hard to say, when rewarded from the random daily quest Defending Your Title in the Storm Peaks. This quest has only a random chance to appear every day, and will only appear after you've unlocked and completed the relative quests in that zone. Next up we have the Shadowhide Pearl Tusk. This is one of the 4 mounts which is dropped randomly from the Invader's Forgotten Treasure reward satchel, which is rewarded from the weekly quest Gold Victory for Alliance and the Horde. Just quick overall, in order to get these you first speak to Sergeant Crowler or Sergeant Grimjaw in your garrison, which will then give you a mission basically to piss off an enemy faction in Draenor. And once you've done this and go back and complete it, they'll now offer you a second quest, which will cause the invasion to start, which you will then have to protect your garrison, which is pretty easy, especially at this day's item level. So the other mounts obtainable are the Giant Cold Snout, the Smoky Direwolf, and then you have the Garn Steel Maw. Next up we have the Leywoven Flying Carpet. This one is the Paragon mount obtainable from the Nightfallen chest. There's a chance to obtain this, as I've just said, from the Nightfallen cache, which is the new Paragon level reputation added in 7.2. So once you've earned 10,000 experience above Exalted, you will then receive a Paragon chest for every 10,000 above this. A lot of these are to do with this, so we'll just go through them one by one. The Cloudwing Hippogriff. This is a mount obtainable from the Farondis chest, which is the Paragon level chest, of course, for the Court of Farondis. Next up, you have the Wild Dream Runner. This is a reward from the Paragon chest Dreamweaver's cache, again from the Dreamweavers. Next up, you have the High Mountain Elderhorn. This is the Paragon reward for the High Mountain tribe. Again, obtainable every 10,000 experience above Exalted. Next up, you have your Valharjar Stormwing. This is, of course, obtainable from the Valharjar Strongbox, which is your Paragon level reward for Valharjar. I cannot say these names. Next up, we have the Avenging Fellcrusher. This is your Paragon reward mount from Army of the Light, which is, of course, on Argus. And then you've got your Glorious Fellcrusher. This is your one, again available from the Army of the Light. And the final one we have is the Blessed Fellcrusher again, which is another mount available from the Army of Light, all available from the caches at the same rate, of course. And then finally, to finish up, we have the Royal Snapdragon. This is obtainable from the very small chance from the Unshackled supplies for the Horde, or the Ankoan supplies for the Alliance, which is your Emissary quest for the Unshackled and Waveblader Cohens in Nazjatar. Next up we have the reward for farming quest. Well, there's only one. This one is the Bone White Primal Raptor. This is rewarded from Kumar in the Isles of the Giants. This white and purple raptor, which actually does look pretty good, is a quest award from a mountain of giant dinosaur bones, which requires you to, wait for it, collect 9,999 giant dinosaur bones, which are dropped from various dinosaurs and skyscreamers on the Isle of Giants. That is probably a good couple of weeks, if not longer, of like 8-hour days grinding this. That is ridiculous. But again, if you want to be so insane, that you get 9,999 giant dinosaur bones, give them to Kumar the Bone Collector, and you'll receive this mount. Next up we have mission board mounts. These are rewards from your Draenor garrison by doing the table missions. So first up we have the Mudback River Beast. This was a mount which is obtainable from the naval missions on the table, which was a new style of mission added late in Warlords of Draenor. So in other words, you just send off your followers on these missions and you have a very small chance of them coming back with this Mudback River Beast. And very similar is the Coalfist Gronling, which is a purple variant of the Gronling mount and is rewarded from the extremely rare garrison mission Breaker 2. And finally, just to finish off, we have one more mount which didn't fit in really into any of the other categories, which is the Crimson Death Charger. This mount is rewarded from the crest at Mograine's Reunion. When a raid kills the Lich King while a raid member is wielding the legendary weapon Shadowmourne, a sealed chest will drop, which will start several delivery quests, which will result in you getting this mount as a reward. And that's it for this one. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's from my Twitter, link down below as always. Last thing to say, I've been XDocX. I'll see you in the next World of Warcraft video. Thanks for watching.